Well, hello. Welcome to the Idiotverse. This is Idiots versus Idiots, a business and marketplace news podcast hosted by myself, Danny, and my illustrious co-host, the Big Man. Today, we're going to tell you about 4 fascinating stories from the wide world of business and entrepreneurship. I want to tell you about Big Man Gear. Big Man Gear is the big man's idea of a funny merch brand. It's every corny dad joke and a Gen X meme on T-shirts for sale on Amazon Prime. You can head over to bigmangear.com because who doesn't need more T-shirts? And you can tell everyone how you feel about your personal news source with a shirt. That's bigmangear.com.
Maybe that's the next one. I am the blue pill. I am the blue pill T-shirt. Nobody knows what that means, but Danny. But
we all know what it means. The internet knows what it means.
Well, maybe all the idiots
internet
out there
knows what it means.
The idiots of the internet know what I am the blue pill means.
Right.
But hey, I can't be the only one, right?
No, you're not the only one. You are joined by the mass of our society.
The mass of our society? Okay. All right. You are the exception to the rule, as always?
I am not. I'm red-pilled, and there are those of us who are red-pilled, and that's fine. But that doesn't mean anything other than we are just...
I don't think anybody but you know what the blue pill and the red pill means.
That's not true.
Okay, I don't think anybody else but you and maybe the buddy of yours that you came up with this one night
I did not
knows what it means. All right.
Yeah, I give credit to Michael Malice, an author and future Austin resident. He wrote several New York Times bestselling books. He's currently writing a book called The White Pill. And listen, you'll learn. You'll find out. By the time you figure out the difference, it'll have been too late. And that's the point.
Okay. All right.
Point is, I'm already... are you ready for this? This is an interesting one. A few weeks ago, we talked about Microsoft attempting to buy the chat app Discord.
Yes.
Little follow-up. That was unsuccessful. Microsoft is trying to buy literally everybody, and they're trying to buy the creators of the developer that created Siri, which initially was just an app in the App Store. Apple liked it so much they acquired it. Nuance Communication is getting approached by Microsoft for a $16 billion acquisition.
Okay, just so everybody out there knows, on Danny's professionalism level, he's switched the order of our stories today. So just so everyone out there knows, he can't seem to stay on track of where his story said. So I had to flip over to my different pages of my notes and stuff like that. I just like to call Danny out when he doesn't do things, as he discusses.
That was a big oops, because I thought the third story would be better as the last story. And you were telling me about some
Your communication is crap. That's all I'm saying. Communication is crap. That's all it is. Just so everybody knows that. Danny is,
Just call me out publicly on our show. It's going to make this working relationship much better. Am I going to text Rothstein,
What day is it? Okay, you've already quit 3 times today, I'm sure. Even though I think I sent you a text last week to say I quit. You'll hear from my lawyers, as you always say.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway, so yes, Microsoft... Look, nobody's going to know, or very few people are going to know the name Nuance, what company that is, that kind of thing. But everybody has heard, as you talked about, everybody has heard of Siri, right? The AI behind Siri. Nuance was big into the development of that artificial intelligence assistant. Now, Here's my big question in this, and I read through not only this article, but a couple of other articles, and no one seems to have any sort of idea of why Microsoft would want to buy this artificial intelligence that helped to create Siri. Like, what is Microsoft wanting to do with this type of company? What's their plan? What's their idea? What do they want to do?
Right. It is complicated because I don't know, other than Siri, which is now wholly owned by Apple, what they could, do with it.
Yeah, because you're not going, they sold it to Apple, right? Like this is a company that turned around and sold the process that is Siri, to Apple. So they're not buying Siri. They're buying essentially the company that created Siri.
Built
now,
Siri.
But I have usually, and look, this is the way most things work in business, y'all. If y'all keep track, and if you're a business news podcast like we are, and you're a business podcast listener like you idiots are, you know that most things in business you can follow a path. Right. This happens. Okay, that makes sense. That now they did this. They're acquiring this company because they're trying to get into that business, or they're trying to
when the French automaker Peugeot acquired Chrysler. Like, we get why you did that.
Exactly. Uber.
You want to be in the American market. This is the fastest way to be in America.
Right.
You want a Jeep. We get why you did it.
Absolutely.
This is perplexing.
Because you don't know. Does Microsoft have a plan? And again, they're a big company. They got a lot of stuff going on, R&D and stuff like that. Is there something that they've got a feather in their hat that they're going, hey, by acquiring this company is going to make that product we're trying to get into, that business, easier?
I'm looking at two possible outcomes. First one I think is unlikely. The second one, the most likely. The first one, Cortana. Cortana kind of sucks. But the point is, I don't think they're trying to beef up Cortana that much. I don't think there's a lot of value for them to beef up Cortana. Maybe they want to build one of those, home devices, like a Amazon Echo. I don't think that's it either, right?
No, I don't think people want to, like the Cortana thing, right? Which I think is essentially dead at this point anyway.
Yeah,
other than people using it to search and find crap in Windows 10 that's not easy to find anymore. I think Cortana is essentially dead. But do people want to sit around and talk to their desktop like they do Alexa or like they do Siri or anything else? So I don't think that's a big thing. Like I don't think they're trying to make desktop computers, which is what runs Windows, right?
Right.
I don't, or their laptops. I don't think people are trying to turn their laptops and desktops into AI communicative things. Like I just don't think that's a thing. Now maybe it is. Maybe that's something they're willing to try to see if they can make happen. But other than that, I don't see their motivation. Discord makes sense, right? We did it a couple of weeks ago. Even though those talks have fell apart, that made sense to me. But this does not necessarily make sense. And especially not being, other than people in business news like you and I, again, nobody knows who Nuance was, or it's not a name that's known by anybody. It doesn't make any
sense. Let me tell you what the second
Microsoft acquires Nuance it's not a big name either. It's not a big deal.
Okay. My view is that they are acquiring them for some sort of Xbox-related project.
You think? But again, what would you? I mean, what could you?
Well,
how could you put it on Xbox? How could you point any kind of voice assistant?
I don't know.
Xbox?
The point is, they're not a voice assistant company. They're an AI company that helped Apple develop a voice assistant. So they are an AI company at their core, is what I'm gathering. So I think it makes sense that they bring in, and because AI, I asked an entrepreneur friend of mine who was getting out of an app that he had started, and I was like, so what's next? Like, what do you think is next? He's like, well, social media is there's no innovation left there. But
I don't know if I agree with that, but okay.
That was his view at the time, right?
Yeah.
He just got off a multi-million-dollar raise, and he's like, there's no future here. But he said AI is what's coming next, and I disagreed at the time. And I definitely thought crypto was going to be blockchain was going to be the future. Turned out to be right.
Well, but we'll see on all of that. But hey, look, here's and this just came to my mind, and maybe this is something where a company, and this used to happen more often, a company is acquiring something that it thinks is going to be profitable. Maybe it's not an integration play. Maybe it's just we're going to keep nuance as far as a business model because other companies out there are going to want it, right?
And maybe they build the windows of artificial intelligence so other people can build their apps and stuff onto a existing, AI OS, if you will. So I'm just saying that there's so many different options, and I don't think that it's not stupid. I don't think it is stupid.
It could be as simple as a simple money play. Yeah. They're going to make money. They are a profitable business. They are in technology.
Yeah.
So let's acquire them and bring them to because they are definitely going from a small sandbox to a big sandbox being part of Microsoft. So maybe it is just a good old-fashioned money play.
When Microsoft acquired Nokia, it was perhaps the dumbest deal I thought they'd ever done in their entire... It made no sense why they were making this acquisition. So let me just add in that I don't think this is like when they acquired Nokia. This makes sense. Acquiring Nokia does not, right? Mm-hmm. That for them, it was not a good play. So, but that's just like, hey, that's just my opinion. I thought this was an interesting story. Can I tell you about Rise Relentless now? Or do you want to continue talking about this?
When Danny asked me the question, are you going to continue talking about this? It's like waving a big red flag that you no longer want to continue to talk about this. So can we please move on? Again, I'm going to start on a regular basis talking directly to our audience when Danny does this kind of stupid crap.
So,
because
it's not a big red flag. It's not a big red flag.
It is a big red flag saying, I no longer want to talk about this subject, no matter what you, big man, want to do or talk about. This is what you want to do.
We share this space. We are in this together.
I am a large man. I don't share my space well.
Okay, yeah, that I can tell you. We used to do movie reviews from your pickup truck, and you own a big truck, and we were still kind of too close to each other.
We're still kind of too close, yeah.
Yeah. No, it wasn't a big red flag. It's like when we, the South, might say something like, "Oh, bless your heart." It's
bless your heart.
You done?
Yeah. No,
you done?
And that's exactly my point. Is you are essentially saying, bless your heart, let's move on.